What's up, guys? It's Deepak Shukla here again from Serpwizz. Welcome back to our series on how to read our reports and all of these elements and how you might explain them to your clients. So today we're talking about eliminating render blocking resources. What does that mean and what does it do? Head over to serpwizz.com to get your free instantly actionable SEO report. And ultimately, render blocking resources are anything that is something that's needed, but something that ultimately, I say a resource, it's ultimately resources that are blocking. So something that you need at some point that's blocking the first paint of your page, meaning the first activity, the first loading, the first element where the page is going to be loaded, and that is being blocked. So resources are blocking the page's ability to paint. Okay, so that typically happens from a synchronous rather than asynchronous load of JavaScript or your cascading style sheet. So as it says here, consider delivering critical JS and CSS inline and deferring or non-critical JavaScript and styles. So that's the JavaScript, which is the interaction, the CSS, which is the styling of the page. And as you can see, there's various options for minification that we've got here. We've got our font for Google APIs. So it's worth showing this to a developer and getting an understanding of what you can minimize further still. Okay, so if we jump into the Learn More section to have a look at what this means. Reports lists all URLs, so that's the URLs here that are blocking the first paint of your goal page. The goal is to reduce the impact of these render blocking URLs by inlining critical resources, deferring non-critical, and removing anything that's unused. So one could argue that certainly the fonts are a critical part of it. Perhaps jQuery, I don't really even know what jQuery is. I beg your pardon. So jQuery is a JavaScript library designed to simplify HTML DOM-free traversal manipulation. So it's a JavaScript library, basically. It is free. Okay, so it's what is jQuery used for? Write less, do more. Okay, it's a lightweight write less, do more. So that's really quite a powerful way of thinking about it. It takes a lot of common tasks that require many lines of JavaScript code to accomplish and wraps them into methods that you can call with a single line of code. So we've got jQuery that's being used here. So that's a good thing because it means that there's not much more potentially that there is for savings there. So it's worth investigating each one of these and just going through the process that I've done. Okay. So as we continue, what type of URLs get flagged? And it's scripts that is in the head of the document, does not have a defer attribute, does not have an async attribute. So it loads, one after, it doesn't load at the same time. And a style sheet that does not have a disabled attribute or a media does not have a media attribute to match a user's device. So you've got the coverage tab in the Chrome DevTools, and you can load from here. So 404 page is fine. You can open up the Chrome DevTools by going to View Page. I think it says Inspect, and then you get the Chrome tools here, which you can start running through. I'm not an expert in this space, so I'd recommend you watch the tutorial too. But as it says here, you can reduce the size of your pages by only shipping the code and styles you need. And it goes through for different elements, which are probably more suitable for your dev team. You've got AMP Optimizer, Drupal, Joomla, WordPress Insights here. And as we're talking right now about eliminating render blocking resources. Let's go to what kids to say and use Google PageSpeed Insights, of course, to test it. How to eliminate it. Is there anything that's with WordPress plugins that do it? Okay, how to eliminate render blocking resources, auto-optimize and async JavaScript are two separate free plugins from the same developer. So that's something to consider. WP Rocket is another one. So there's some interesting information here that's worth you looking at. And don't add CSS with the import rule, which would make sense, I presume, to the developers. The media attribute use the media attribute for conditional CSS. Use the defer and async attributes to eliminate render blocking JavaScript. Minify and bundle CSS and JavaScript, and load custom fonts locally. So I hope that that's of some use to you guys. Apologies if you're looking for a really in-depth and detailed explanation. Really, these videos are just hopefully a solid resource for you to be able to explain them to potential clients and others before you kick it up to your development team, specifically in this section at least. Or you can come to us at Pearl Lemon. I am actually not the technical guy in the team, but I know at least a little bit, and certainly I'm learning more with you. So I hope that makes sense, guys. Catch you in the next one.